Thanks for tuning in. I haven't done a video in a while, but I probably should do these more often. I've had some other things that have been had to prioritize in certain things, and not that I haven't had any time at all to do this, but I do need to focus on adding videos here also, because I think there's a lot of things that are important in life that we all need to understand and learn more of, and whatever the Father has brought to me to share with others, I should really be doing that. And one of the things that's been on my mind and heart recently is the fact that people are offended over such small things. We live in at least in the United States, in the affluent societies, we live in an environment where we hardly face any resistance. And so, not among all, but among many people, their patience threshold is very small, very short. And it's interesting, one brother and his family that I'd fellowshiped with over the summer, I counted in probably, my best friend, just suddenly turned on me, and I had no idea why. We had been connected on, Facebook also, and suddenly he had blocked me from his profile and from his group. I never even posted on his profile or even said anything bad to him. Never posted anything bad in his group. Hardly ever posted there, in fact, because I'm busy with many of my own. And I thought, well, that's very odd, because not long before that, we were just talking about the importance of forgiveness. And, especially in ministries as we have, it's not very fitting, to block people, and just throw them out over, especially over hardly anything. They would have to be just totally unruly and things like that. Scripture does give instruction in doing that, about casting out the scorner and the strife will cease. The Father wants peace in his kingdom, and we need to be peaceful people. And it's unfortunate we sometimes get people that rise up, ask us questions, and we just simply share our perspective. And I try to shape my own perspective so that it is in line with Scripture. And just had a situation like that recently, in fact, with one woman. She went off the deep end, started slandering me and everything, and all I was presenting the truth of Scripture, But apparently, and what I'm seeing in those responses is that some people don't read their Bibles. They don't read the Scripture to know what the truth of the matter is. And they get in their own mind the things that they want and they desire, and think that's a way to go. How would I say it? Their emotions get the best of them. And one of the biggest things that I had to learn in life is not to allow my emotions to rule my thinking. I still struggle with that at times, but I stop and I said, wait, I have to do what I know is right rather than what I feel is right. So this brother I'd been fellowshipping with, it was really strange, and some of the things he told me I know were not true because they didn't line up with his behavior. And there's a few things that were revealed, and I just kindly, his wife is still connected with me through social media, and I just kindly sent her a text. I says, just let your husband know I won't be visiting again. I says, it was to the point that Scripture reveals he was not even providing for his home, and I'd seen this for a while too. There's things, I mean, scripturally I could have written them off a long time ago. I never did. And there's a lot of problems I overlooked there that, you know, he was just not, you know, being a husband according to scripture. But I never went there with him. I always tried to be kind and, you know, patient and everything. And even when he actually many times he's outright arrogant, you know, sitting there cackling and laughing about, oh, I know this, I know that. And I thought, let me step aside, because when that lightning bolt comes down, I don't want to be affected by it. The best thing we can do is realize that we know nothing. You think about all the knowledge that Elohim has, and we can't even imagine how much that is, because our minds are so puny. Think about the universe, the expanse of the universe. How far does that go on? I don't know. Is that everlasting? It's unbelievable. Even just on our own planet, just on this very globe that we live on, all the things that you can think about that have been created here. The mind of Elohim is more than amazing. And our minds are so puny. How can we ever sit there and claim to know anything? We can't. This is humility. We have to seek after humility. Otherwise, we'll never have wisdom. How can you have wisdom without humility? You can't. You know, if you understand at least a little bit, you'll understand that. And that also demands forgiveness. Scripture tells us that unless we forgive others, neither will our own sins be forgiven. And we see a lot of the, you know, carnal mindset out there, people saying, I can forgive, but I can't forget. But forgiveness, true forgiveness, demands forgetting, because Scripture tells us about the fruit of the Spirit that love does not keep a record of wrong. You know, I mean, we're always aware, you know, situations that happen and stuff like that. You know, and sometimes we wonder why people did this or did that. But the greater lesson is what I've learned about Messiah's love, is that we can actually love enough that no matter what people do to us, we won't even be offended. There'll be nothing to forgive. And sorry, I thought the timer stopped there. Had to check that out. We're still rolling. So if we can focus on Messiah's love, you know, that all comes from the Father, of course. And, you know, understanding that more, we realize we need to forgive. What great love Messiah had on us. This was from the Father. That he died the most horrible death, was abused more than anybody. And many of us can't tolerate just a few little minute differences. I deal with this all the time. And you gotta overlook it. You just gotta let it roll off you. You know, when I was young and I was emotionally damaged, you know, so many things affected me. And I had to seek the Father and gain inner healing. You know, if you can't let things roll off you, you need some healing. And I'm not pointing the finger, but I do offer solutions for that. It's a journey I've had to take myself, and I have a group on my own social networking site at Messiah's People called Healing Wounded Spirits. And I share things on there about inner healing, becoming strong and things like that. Scripture promises that the Father will do this for us, that he will bind up our wounds. He heals us. He's the great physician, not just physically, but emotionally. And he gives us so much. He gave us so much already through Messiah. And we claim to love and serve Messiah, but are we really? Until we can forgive others and overlook the differences, it's hard to say that we really serve and love Messiah until we are doing the works. Messiah told us in the Word, or rebuked some people. He says, told them their heart is far from them. You know, with their mouth, you know, they praise him with their mouth, but their heart is far from him. Until our actions back up our faith, we have nothing. If we can't overlook slight differences, and we need to block somebody or write them off, we are missing it. We are missing it. And try to reach out. I'm not perfect, so don't read into that. I'm trying to say I am, but the Father has brought me to where I am. It doesn't mean I'm perfect or have arrived at anything, but He has been gracious enough to me that I reach out to some of the most angry men out there, and I've locked horns with them. But later, as I went and talked to them, because we are supposed to be ministers of reconciliation, and these are not even men in the faith, these are men at work. I work construction job, and you get some hot-headed people out there. You gotta have love and patience and forgiveness. And, you know, every one of the men, you know, in our company that I've locked horns with at one time or another, even attacked me in a physical fight. You know, granted, you know, the word says love your enemy, so I just hug them right around the neck until they slow down. Are you done yet? You know, I had that happen one time. I never hit them back. And, well, we have to love those people. And afterwards, talking to them, that never happened again. Sometimes you gotta talk. You gotta love those people. Even somebody attacking you in a fist fight, love them. If you haven't been faced with that, you face nothing. Yeah, you know. And you know, granted, I've been able to hold my own, but you know, I don't go out there starting fist fights. You know, some of these people just get so angry that they want to start one, but I'll end it. And that's the key, you know, to reconcile those issues, even to that extent. You know, we have to consider, look what Messiah went through, far more than I've been through, far more than any of us. And the word says, you have not yet resisted unto blood. You know? You just haven't done that. People get so petty over minor things. How can you say you've been redeemed? How can you say you truly love Messiah if you haven't even loved your neighbor? That makes us a liar. If we say we love Messiah, but we can't forgive our neighbor, our faith is in vain. Hate to say it, but this is what Scripture presents. These are things we all need to consider. We need to weigh out these matters and examine ourselves daily to know if we are really in the faith. Scripture presents this also. It's important to know. And unless we can have that kind of patience and love and humility and forgiveness, we're not in it, people. We're not on our way. And even those who make it into eternity, Scripture says, barely make it. This is not an easy walk. And if people think that they have it so smooth and everything is coming their way, they might be in for a rude awakening before long. There's a lot of things happening in this world. And we have to consider the times that we live in. The message I bring is not easy for a lot of people. And I don't want to be one of those people that just, you know, come with a big smiley face and promise you prosperity and smoothness in life, because Messiah didn't promise that. He said he did come to bring peace. He came to bring a sword, and a man's foes will be they of his own household. When you are sold out to Messiah, your own family will hate you and divide from you. Guaranteed. Don't let that bother you. Keep seeking Messiah. Yeah, it bothers you. I mean, we don't want that. I'm not saying don't grow so hard that it doesn't bug us. But don't let it keep you from your growth in following Messiah. Seek Him first. Seek Him diligently in all things. Don't ever expect an easy life in this world. Your own children will turn on you. Cast false allegation. Happened to me. If they ever repented and came back, I'd receive them just like that. You know, I never stopped loving anybody. But I look to fellowship with the saints, people that are truly sold out, not just people that just say it. I've seen some that, will boast about the love they have, but their life does not show it. Just doesn't show it. Everybody generally has some patience and some humility. But in a true believer, there's an extra level. There's a level of it that this world doesn't have. And that's what we have to consider. You will not seek after the things of this world. You can live in tiny dwelling. My place here is small, just a little one-bedroom apartment. And it's probably, to me, it's huge. I'm very content with it. I could live in a tent and be happy, actually. And as long as it's a canvas tent and I can heat it in the wintertime. But we have to be that humble that we could even live in a hut, and we'd be happy. We have to lay our own life down. There's not many people who have really come to that level of faith that they can truly lay their life down. That if everything fell out from under us today, we'd still be content tomorrow, knowing who our Redeemer is. Never let go of Messiah's love. Focus on it every day. Make that the center of your being. Love your enemy as yourself, your neighbor as yourself, everybody, no matter what they do. Continue to love them and never give up. Messiah never gave up on you. Thanks for watching.